The Institute for the Study of Pig States presents the 5th International Psychoimmunology and Psychobiology Research Symposium. In this video, Phase 1 clinical trials. Are we having fun yet? On being volunteer guinea pigs.
Okay, so welcome everyone. Here's our third presentation for today. So we're going to have members of our applied research team sharing their experience being what we call our research guinea pigs. So doing the phase 1 clinical trials. So over to you.
So, hello everybody, nice to be here with you. My name is Gaëtan Klein, and I'm going to lead this presentation with my colleagues who are here. So today we're going to talk about what is it to be volunteer guinea pigs for the phase 1 clinical trial. So our name are as Laila Johansson, Leif Peterson, Amy Zook, Julien Roux, who's with me, and our colleague from Poland, Tomasz Seglinski, who is not here today, but we're going to share about our experience and what it is to go through this phase of testing. So what do we do? So basically what we do is we take the processes that the basic research team has designed, and we try it on ourselves. And we do this because we are looking for different criteria to meet so that we can pass it on to the phase 2, which are: is it safe? Is it efficient? Does it do what we are trying to accomplish? Is it simple enough to do for what we think other people will be able to do? And is it streamlined? Are there things we need to improve or things we need to change about the process? So for the last 9 months, we've been meeting every week. And every week we try new things. So basically what we're doing is we're taking the prototypes that the basic research has designed, and we test it. Does it work? Does it work the way we intended to do, or what do we need to change about it? And it leads to a lot of fine-tuning. Sometimes we find new ways of doing the process, or smarter ways, or things that are more simple. We try to make it as simple as possible and to see if it works, and if it works also on the long term. Is it stable? That's basically what we do. Of course, the downside of it is that it's a bit more risky, but the upside is we hopefully make it through, and then we can pass it on to other people because we tested that it works, it's safe, and it accomplished what we're trying to accomplish. So that's what we do as a team, and we meet every week to do this. So we're having a lot of fun. We're going to talk about what is positive and fun about it, what is the downsides of it, and why we do it. So it's a lot of fun because we're trying to develop cutting-edge new technology. It's completely new. We're really pioneering this work. And we've listed a list of different things that are very positive for us in doing this. So the first thing is we heal a lot of new processes. We do a lot of work on ourselves, and we improve ourselves. Sometimes we get new states of consciousness, which is nice. Another time we feel that there's something that changes in us, so we become better in terms of mental health and sometimes physical health too, which is great. There's a lot of fine-tuning about the skills and the techniques. So our team are actually, we've been through a lot of training and a lot of practice. We've all been practicing for many years, sometimes for decades. So we already have a very high level of skill in this technique. But what we're doing is new, so there are always new things to learn and to how to make it better, simpler, more effective. So it's really about learning about how to make it work and make it simple and discovering new things. And our skills improve when we are doing it. And then we can teach other people how to do it more efficiently too, which is fun. There's a lot about, it's very personal when we do this work because we're working on ourselves, right? We are the materials that is being worked on. So we have to involve ourselves, we have to commit personally to it. And the upside is we are learning a lot about ourselves, and there's a lot of personal growth in it. And most of the time it works. We're here, we're fine, we're healthy. So, so far so good. And the positive side is it also changes our own life. We do it in a way that we want to make sure that it's safe, but the upside is we really have a lot of positive changes in our own life. Maybe my colleagues want to expand on that and to tell their own experience of it. Julien, for example.
For me, it's like learning new things about myself, new thing I was not able to be aware of before, like how life can be amazing. I'm going to get a new perspective on life because you get to so much maybe difficult stuff or not nice stuff, and then you realize, wow, life is something to really enjoy. Like, so you get like a good feeling about being alive in this sense. So yeah, make me enjoy life more thanks to this work too.
Yeah, so we're testing processes that are very often designed to heal specific diseases, as you know, but the effect is that we feel better inside also, even if we don't really have the disease, because most people have subclinical symptoms of those diseases or secondary effects. So when we do the processes, maybe we don't have very intense symptoms to begin with, but the processes are so deep and complete that we feel positive effect. So it's great. Another thing is it also helps us to become more efficient in our life, so we can make better decisions, have clearer opinions and things we want to do. It makes it easier to lead our lives, right? Do you want to talk about that, Laila?
Yeah, you're saying that.
No,
Not
because
yet?
I
Okay.
can't do that at the moment.
Okay, sure. So yes, we can lead better life because it's easier to tap into what feels good, what seems right, rationally, emotionally, spiritually, and so we become better in the way we lead our own life, and we also become better as a therapist, which is a huge motivation. Because all of us are practicing therapy, so we're helping people in our day-to-day lives. That's our job, and if we can become better and better at it, it's really a bonus. I think it's actually a big motivation for every one of us. Another thing that's really nice about it is that there is a sense of community, and like I said, we are similarly crazy.
Yeah,
Talk about that.
True.
that's true, because you know, when we're doing stuff like this, we also have this sworn secrecy. We're not going to talk about this stuff with our neighbors and other places. So sometimes you can be a little bit frustrated of what we're doing, and it's really nice to have a little group of people where we can share this frustration, and we can also help each other when we are stuck. We can bootstrap when necessary. So we have a space, a group of people where we can actually be similar crazy and talk about this cutting edge new things and how it will make impact in my life. And do you experience the same, this kind of camaraderie as well? I feel personally that's a huge bonus with this little group here.
And it's also useful when we have troubles, because sometimes, you know, we have the meeting once a week, but then after the meeting, sometimes things happen, and sometimes we can deal about it on our own, but sometimes we have to call our colleagues, and we have our colleagues to reach. So it's really nice to have this solidity between us. All right, and then one of the last things that's really positive about it is the potential. What we're trying to create, what we are participating in, has a huge potential in terms of helping a lot of people, creating new techniques that are more effective for conditions and diseases who don't really have any treatment yet, or treatments that are not as efficient as they could be. So helping more people, becoming more effective, and helping people also in a more general way, because this work is universal, so it can be applied all over the world. We are actually a very international team. So now we are in Denmark. Sometimes we have we have colleagues in North America, in Asia, in many different places. So it's a widespread movement, and there's also a huge potential in terms of finances, which is also a motivation. I think it's not the primary one, but it's a reflection on the impact we can have on the world. We can have a huge impact, and that's a big motivation for us. All right.
Yeah.
So our colleague Thomas, who is not here, sent me some notes about what's in it for him and how he experienced it. So for him, the interest, he said, was primarily intellectual. He said that Grant, so our founder, created a coherent and working methodology for emotional healing, which does not happen often in this field. So it's interesting to understand how it works and to discover new things about it. For him, the hardest thing is to accept that he does not always have the special skills or state of consciousness to be a researcher. So when we do this, we are very often battling against our own limitation, and we're pushing to try to become better and better, which is not always easy. He says, but there are so many other things to do. The goal for him is to offer his time and energy to help test the solutions that the team has developed. And facing the healing in and of itself doesn't come very easily. We all have our struggles because what we're doing is new, and sometimes we don't really know how to do it. So that's why we're doing it. We're trying to find what works, what doesn't work so well, how to make it better. So we have to push through it. But he says, all I have to do is focus on what I've committed to, which is providing the most objective feedback possible. That's just the job of a tester. So sometimes we want to make it work, but it doesn't. In that case, it's useful because we can know why does it not work. But that's the difficult part, I think, because sometimes we feel, I don't know how it is for you, but for me, sometimes when it doesn't work, I think it's because of me. I'm not skilled enough, or I'm not smart enough. There's something wrong about me. But sometimes it's not really. It's about the process itself. Yeah. And to make the difference is very.
And then the next week we discover, oh guys, we figure out there is maybe something there to change. Like, that's why we were feeling bad this week, or not succeeding. Yeah.
So it's a very incremental process, week after week, how to become better at it. And Thomas also wrote, sometimes he has the tempting thoughts of riding a bike instead of attending a meeting, but it only lasts for a moment. And then when we start our work, we are all very focused and committed. So it's nice. We'll go through it. Sometimes we think, there's something else to do, which leads me to the next slide. So it's not always so fun. So here are the difficult parts that we talked about for an hour yesterday. So there are many difficulties in this work. Even if it's fun, sometimes it's very difficult. So some of the things are sometimes we're stuck in a process halfway. Do you want to talk about that, Leif? How it is for you?
Yeah, sometimes we're doing research in a way where we don't know all the endpoints, so we not heal everything at one point. So, by example, some evening we're only healing X site for that whatever new process we're working with this site. And one of the givers says, of you huge, maybe feel like a few meters taller than I am in real time. And if you see in here, I have some beams here in the house. So sometimes I have to duck to go under, but you know, it's a little bit crazy if you only are high in one side and not in the other side, you know, and downstairs, it's sometimes, you know, adjusting of sensors. And so it can be quite fun, but also quite scary sometimes. So yeah, but we know what it is and we know what to do, but we promised Grant, Kirsten, and Marion not jump on the other side to behold, because there are some elements we need to fine tune, and maybe there are another kind of emotion or another kind of generation trauma, another trauma we need to deal with or detect first. So it's also we are quite close on, you know, being Columbus as well. You don't know what you don't know. You can see land, but where are you? Are you India or yeah, we don't know before we know.
Sometimes we break ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. You want to talk about that?
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I have skills or I have, an ability, and then after research, I no longer have that. And so I spend a week trying to get it back. And luckily, we have a nice cohesive group here who I can call upon help. I would like this back. And so fortunately, most things have been fixable. So
Yeah, got lucky.
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes if I'm broken like for a few weeks, like emotionally or stuff like that. And yeah, it go back to sometime I don't know if it's like just my regular trauma from my life or from research, or if we were doing were eating too much inner resistance or stuff like that. So it's always like a gray area. What is it from research testing and the healing versus my own stuff?
Right.
But in the end, I always come back to this kind of happiness. It's fine.
Yes, it interacts with our life, so it's hard sometimes to make the difference. Is this from my life or is it from the research we did yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, work as a therapist. Sometimes I'm like not functional. The next day I can function as a therapist. So it happened when I had to reschedule meetings to like another day. It's possible.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just not like ordinary job as a bookkeeper or carpenter. Now time is 4 and we're closing up and going home to our families. I have a family with 2 kids, and when something happens and I'm not fully CPL, and that happens now and then I'm maybe not the nicest husband and father. And that rock this inner balance we have in the family. So that can be hard when you're living an ordinary family life. The next one is also coming from me because we have something here in Denmark called candy time. Every Friday evening after school, after job, we have a cozy time. We nice dinner, and after dinner we're having candies and seeing television together, and I don't know where any of this term is coming from because we didn't have it when I was a kid, but I think it's maybe so the kids don't have to ask for candy every day, so we put it off for Friday evening. But now Friday evening here we are sitting doing this research, so I am missing out for that. And also in Denmark, when we have a good time is often together with friends and families, and they're also off in the weekend. So Friday evening is often a evening we are using to maintain our social life as well. So for me that's a challenge to use Thursday and Friday evening this way. But I'll also say I was part of the research back in the early 10, and we were using a lot of hours, and basically what we were doing at that time was what Kirsten and Mary and Grant is doing today. And I have my personal issues as well. On top of that, a lot of pain going on for many years. So at some point it was just being too many hours and too little progress. It's not about I want my stuff or issue to be healed, but I was also have a feeling of I was, dragging the institute or the research department down because my issue was having a lot of space in my life, or too much space in my life. So that was one of my personal feedback at that time. And of course, as Amy also said, yeah, we can sometimes doubt our our own skills. If I see a blue banana somewhere in the cytoplasm, you know, the whole institute is going to look for that blue banana, or it's just me that are crazy, or, you know, that is, yeah, that is sometimes fun, but also frustrating to look. And if another guy have seen a blue banana and I can't find this blue banana myself, is I'm crazy or blocked from other trauma or what's going on here. So it's really like looking for the needle in the haystack, and you don't know if there's one needle or two needles or three needles, and is another haystack we need to go into. So sometimes it's really like going around blindfolded and don't really understand what's going on. So that can be sometimes a bit frustrating to be there.
And then we can fool ourselves, like we think we are done in the process, it's clear symptoms, and then no, I was delusional. There is something left, or you know, sometimes there is this aspect of like perception of being complete or finished on the process, or some healing in the research testing, and then not really. Or it's the wrong stuff we did.
Yes, and this is one of the benefit of having this team of phase 1 trial, because when our role is to go through this problem so that people after that don't have this problem. So if we find that it doesn't really work, that we were delusional, then we can correct it. So it's also a benefit, but it takes time to realize, is it really working? And that's why it takes time to do this research and pass it on to the next step. Then there are some other difficulties, like sometimes we're not able to really feel the symptoms, where it's kind of blurry and not clear. So it's not the same as healing regular trauma. You want to expand on that, because I think you talked about it.
Yeah, I'm blanking out right now. So, but is right. Sometimes you can feel a bit lonely and crazy, because is what I'm feeling real, or is it part of a trauma, or something else going on? So sometimes can be difficult to be at a place where we can work only on this given task and this given trauma.
And make sure the symptoms we are looking for as a marker for the process we are testing are the right one for this process, not other stuff from our life. Or sometimes they ask to check that, like I can't, or what do you mean? Because it's like sometimes searching something.
Like you numb them out.
Yeah. And as I explained for a half hour ago with my TBI, what is actually the endpoint? Is that getting free of symptoms, or now they're happening something else with my lungs? Some is not part of my brain. So what is the real endpoint? And if we're healing a little bit more, do we healing another LBA and then happening something else? So sometimes it's fun, but sometimes it's challenging to really know what is the endpoint. And when we redo it, like still have this rule of 3, then something else happened sometimes. And if you're not at the same point or at the same endpoint, then I'm wrong or the other guys are wrong. That's really, we need to calibrate all the time.
We need to cut through the noise and see what's really relevant, what is not. That's the difficulty of solve it, yeah. Now, we are a good team and we have a good close relationship, but sometimes we also feel lonely and isolated, because you can't really talk about it to your friends in the evening or to your family. Sometimes it's just because this stuff is so specialized that it can make you feel a bit isolated, but we manage to go through that. Trauma flooding is also another problem. So sometimes we open up an emotional problem and it doesn't get really resolved during the research session. So the next day we feel activated. You talked about it a bit, so it happens. And yes, like I said before, we wonder, is it because when you have a problem the next day or the next week, is it because my life has a problem or I have a problem, or is it because we did this strange research and something new came up in me? So we have to decipher between things. And another difficulty is sometimes we are in different parts of the world, so we have to find the time to meet. So we're meeting on Fridays, but sometimes it's the evening and sometimes it's the morning for somebody else.
You
Or
were in Thailand or Bali, it was like so late in the evening for you.
yeah, so for a few months I was in Asia, it was 1 in the morning. I had to wake up to start the process, the research. So, but it's okay. So these are when it's not so much fun. So it's difficult, but it's not so bad.
How is the time, Shane? About the time?
Yeah.
So
Couple more minutes.
Yeah. So I was talking with my wife about this, and some of the kids are saying that why shall dad not watch TV and have candy with us? So they are feeling a little bit abandoned there. Or the next day I'm really in a crisis, so I'm in the bed, I can't move, and really shitty situation. But I'll also say that is active choice we have made, that only one of us can be broken at the time. So it's only me working this way of thing. My wife and me are both certified therapists in this modality, and we understand what is pain, what is trauma, what is progress, and what is to be broken. And sometimes he's kicking me in the ass to call up for help when needed. So we have a understanding in this house about this, but I also see that can be a challenge for people working with this in a relationship if not both understand what's really going on.
So why do we do it? Why do we make this crazy choice? Well, we have to talk about our motivation. Or before that, just another few things that it has an impact on our life. So sometimes it has an impact on a relationship. Our relationship can be impacted positively or sometimes negatively. So sometimes our interests change, or the way we interact with certain people change. So it definitely has an impact if you want to talk about it. But we have to be aware of that. However, in general, it gets better. So it feels like a blessing because we have less toxicity in our life, we have less trauma in ourselves, and so we have less drama in our life, which is really positive.
So for me, it's like when we feel like, oh, it's going wrong, sometimes it's just like a blessing in disguise, because when you look at the big picture, like, okay, it was better for me to not have the relationship anymore. So it's like in the end, it's very positive.
And Julia, I think you have to speak about your mom now.
Yeah, so my mom is not really someone very aware of stuff, but she knew about trauma and stuff. She don't do healing, but I was asking her, do you feel any different lately? She was like, oh yeah, I'm able to notice when someone was trying to manipulate me, for example, and she was able to say no. So that was something, because she never noticed anything, any change. And so, and also she noticed that she feels more happy in her life. Even though she was a happy person, it's even stronger in her. So for her to notice that was something, because she don't notice anything.
And our colleague said he lives alone, so he don't have huge impact on his life. So it really depends on the setup of our life and our relationship. But we need to be aware of that.
Maybe you should tell why his mother is feeling it. Because he's living alone, he's working alone.
Yes. So, because when I heal myself, I heal mostly a lot of generational trauma. So, trauma from my ancestors and family. So, what I do on myself impact my family positively, because I'm healing trauma. So, my mom, that's why she's getting impacted positively by this work. I didn't notice any negative impact so far. I ask her sometimes when I do very strong healing, I really change something deep in me, or get unstable, I can check with her how she's feeling, and she's okay. So she noticed sometimes the positive change only.
Which is also a part of the motivation. So we have a lot of motivations to do this.
We also want to make a better world.
Exactly.
We want to make a better world.
Yes.
Better world.
Yes. So the work we're doing has an impact on us, but it has an impact around us. It has a global impact. And I think that's a lot of what drives us. We want to make each generation to become better and better and not add to the field of suffering, right? Because we know with generational trauma that suffering is passed on, so it accumulates. Or if we heal it,
Can stop it. Yeah.
it decreases. It's also allows us to make better choices in our life and to make decisions based on joy and delight and ease. So it's better to live like this than to stay in our trauma. So we're pushing the limits of the quality of mental health that we can have. So it's really positive. It's also about becoming a better human being in the way you show up in your life, because the more we heal ourselves, the better we can be with our family, our friends, publicly, etc. And there's a feeling of we are waking up and we are bringing forth this. So it's not just about the diseases themselves, it's about a bigger picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think we all share this bigger picture. We want things to be better, and this is the way that we are making it happen. And yeah, it's a bit more interesting that day-to-day ordinary stuff. Oh, I need to fix my car. Oh, I need to go to the hairdresser. Now we have something meaningful to do, and it's also fun to do. There's a pleasure of discovering. There's intellectual curiosity about it, but there's also the bigger picture behind of. We have this project with the institute to bring forth new peak state processes, so new quality of life in terms of how we feel, and all these diseases we're working on. So we want to make things better, not just for ourselves, but for humanity. Yes. So we have this beauty way state that we're working through. So basic research is working towards it, but we are trying to support them in this work. And the Humanity Project, we don't talk much about it in the symposium, but the goal is to bring these new discoveries to as many people as we can, and to make humanity become better and better. Do you want to expand on it from your point of view, or share how it feels to you? Or did I say it right?
Okay. And with the time we have, I think it's
Yeah, we can expand with the questions, but
Yeah.
and also sometimes it feels like we have to do it. Like now that we know what we can do and what can be accomplished with this, it feels like, of course, we have to do it. We could not ignore it. We're doing the best with our own ability. Everybody's doing their best with what they can do, but we have the skills, so why not using them? So somebody has to do it. So it's a bit more risky, but we have all these rewards that we talked about, which are making it really worth it, I think.
Yeah. So in the other point of my moaning was, okay, we can do this, or I can go see television and have a candy. So it's also a balance, but you know, who else can do that? And also feel somehow obligated when we have the skills and opportunity. So I think that's from our point here. Jane,
Stop sharing.
Yeah.
So is there any questions?
Thank you very much for that. I really want to thank you all. Like the commitment that you have, as you've shared, you know, that it's not always an easy job. There's plenty of challenges along the way. So we wouldn't be getting this work out into the world if it wasn't for the dedication that you all have, and you're doing it on a volunteer basis. We're all incredibly grateful for the great work that you're doing. So thank you for that. I'm sure everyone got some great insight. There's only a handful of people that get the opportunity to do what you're actually doing, and so getting some insight around what that's really like was great to hear. So thanks for sharing, everyone.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for watching. For more information, please visit www.psychoimmunology.com.au.